Hi boys and girls, tonight I'm going to read you a story called Stone Soup. It's written by Marilyn Sapinza and illustrated by Hans Wilhelm. Stone Soup. I'm tired and hungry, whined Molly. Don't worry, said Max, our troubles are over. Look! I see a little village just a few miles away. But we don't know anyone there, said Molly. Max thought for a moment. He said, you're right, but maybe some friendly villagers live there. Maybe they'll give us something to eat and a place to rest. Yes, said Molly. Most people are kind. Let's go. What Molly and Max didn't know is that these villagers weren't kind. They were stingy and mean. Eek, shouted Mr. and Mrs. Ratfink. Eek, shrieked their little baby too. Strangers are coming, yelled Mr. Ratfink. They'll want us to share what we have with them. Eek, squeaked baby Ratfink. Let's hide our food. Let's close our shops, said the butcher. The town banker hid his money. He put a sign on his door, closed. The village innkeeper hid his room keys. He put a sign on the hotel, no room. The farmer's wife hid the garden vegetables. She closed the door and shuttered the windows. The townspeople hid carrots and corn. They hid potatoes and peas. They hid beans and broccoli, onions and herbs, milk and meat. And soon there was not one bit of food in sight. Ugh. They don't sound like very nice townspeople. All the villagers practiced looking hungry, but by the time Molly and Max reached the village, there was nobody around. Where is everyone? Asked Molly. They're probably inside having lunch, reasoned Max. Can't you smell something delicious? Yes, said Molly. It's coming from that house over there. The door is even open a crack. Maybe they saw us coming and are waiting for us, Max said hopefully. What do you think, boys and girls? Do you think that someone is cooking lunch for Max and Molly? I don't know. But when Molly and Max got to the door, it slammed shut. Go away, shouted a voice from behind the door. Molly and Max walked up to a man who was crossing the street. Excuse me, sir, said Molly. Could you please help us? We've been traveling a long time. We could use a hot meal and a place to sleep. Forget it, said the man in a gruff voice. Molly and Max knocked on every door. They stopped at everybody that passed by, but the answers were always the same. No food, no room, go away. What are we going to do? Asked Molly. No one here can help us. I have a feeling that no one here wants to help us, said Max. I think these people have hearts of stone. Hey, said Molly, that gives me an idea. What do you think, boys and girls? Are these people all mean and do they not want to help Molly and Max? We're going to have to find out. I wonder what her idea is. Molly whispered her idea to Max, and then they rang the village bell. Bong, 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 went the bell, and all the townspeople came running. What's going on here? Grumbled Mr. Ratfink. We only ring the bell when there's an emergency. Eek, screeched baby Ratfink. There's an emergency, Max told everyone. There's no food in this town. So now is the time to make stone soup, said Molly. Stone soup? I've never heard of it, said the farmer's wife. Oh, I think Rigby likes the story, boys and girls. He might be interested in having some stone soup, too. Of course, you haven't heard of it, said Molly. It's a secret recipe. But we'll share that recipe with you just the same, said Max. Then we'll all have something to eat and none of us will be hungry. Well, said the villagers impatiently. What do we do first? Molly answered, heat some water in a pot. When that was done, the villagers said, what's next? Max answered, add some stones you've scrubbed a lot. Now the townspeople were really curious. Surely this was the strangest recipe they had ever heard of. They waited while Molly dipped her spoon into the steaming pot. They watched while she tasted the soup. What do you guys think it tasted like? Ugh. She said. Stone soup is very good plain, but it would taste even better if we could make the fancy kind. How do we do that? Asked the mayor. Sprinkle pepper, salt, and herbs, said Molly. Let it boil undisturbed. Do you think they're gonna get the salt and pepper and herbs? I think so. I have those things, said the mayor's wife. I'll be right back. She hurried back with her pocket full of herbs and spices. Oh, thank you, said Molly as she added the seasonings to her soup. What's next? Asked the mayor's wife. Drop in carrots, onions too. Let the soup heat through and through. But we'll just have to do without the carrots and onions, she sighed. I have those things, said the farmer's wife. I'll be right back. She came back with a sack bulging with carrots and onions. Oh, thank you, said Molly as she added them to the soup. What's next? Asked the farmer's wife. They didn't have any food. How are they getting all this food all of a sudden? Molly replied, stir in milk to make it sweet. Add potatoes for a treat. With milk and potatoes, it would be so much better. I have milk, shouted the butcher's wife, and the banker's wife has potatoes. We'll be right back. The butcher's wife returned with 2 buckets brimming with milk. The banker's wife came back with a basket full of potatoes. Oh, thank you, said Molly as she added them to the soup. What's next? Asked the banker's wife. Max replied, toss in meat cubes. Let it stew. Let it bubble. Let it brew. Too bad we don't have any meat, sighed Molly. I know where to get some. I know where to get some, the butcher excitedly said. I'll be right back. A short time later, the butcher returned with a huge chunk of meat, which he quickly cut into pieces. Oh, thank you, said Molly as she stirred the meat pieces into the boiling pot. What's next? Asked the butcher. The soup is looking really good. The best part, said Molly, is taste the soup, and when it's done, serve stone soup to everyone. Yay, cheered the mayor. It's time to taste the soup. He snatched up a spoonful of soup and tasted it. This is the most delicious soup I've ever had, said the mayor. And to think that it's made with nothing but stones and water? Amazing! It's time to serve the stone soup, announced the mayor. But the townspeople had more than just soup. They had fruit and bread and salad and cider and cakes and pies. They laughed and they danced long into the night. And when the feast was over, the innkeeper asked Molly and Max to stay in his finest room. I think they tricked the townspeople. The next morning, everyone waved goodbye to Molly and Max. How can we thank you for the secret recipe, they called. Share stone soup with everyone, sang the travelers. Boys and girls, do you think the townspeople learned a lesson here? What lesson did Molly and Max teach the townspeople? Think about it and let me know when I see you around school tomorrow. Bye.